One of the most grandfathered-ass concepts of JRPGs is the silent protagonist. Sometimes it's supposed to be a self-insert and make you feel a part of the story. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it never does. I am of the mindset the best protagonists speak, making their own decisions and having their own convictions and go through their own changes and journey. So, I have constructed the creme de la creme of JRPG protagonists, and for your convenience, I have listed them all in the description, as there probably will be spoilers. You guys like my uneven space buns? Thanks. Number 5. Change is such an exciting thing to see in a protagonist, especially when it's subtle, dialogue starts to change, and their actions start to be affected. And finally, at the end, you get to see how all the side characters impacted the protagonist in full bloom. When you can't recognize the person you started the journey with, and for the better. The World Ends With You follows Neku, a young man who wants nothing to do with nobody, drowns out the world with his headphones and minds his business, but finds himself in the Reaper's game, a game that gives people a second chance at life. Realizing his only chance at life is by working with others, he teams up with Shiki, a fashionable and friendly young girl. Neku's journey is among my favorites, as it's about learning the importance of having people in our lives. Shiki is his first teammate, but through the course of several Reaper's games, he teams up with several others, and they all kind of unlock pieces of him, and the gradual change Neku faces is one of beauty. And I love that this is reflected in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance as well.
Now we're friends? It's not that easy.
Not saying it is, but you could make it easier.
Yeah, sounds great. Whatever. Sora. Thanks. It wasn't easy. You made it easier.
Yeah.
His story partially resonates with me because I was like that. And to some degree, I still am. I'm very much leave me alone, don't talk to me, I don't need nobody, but as I meet new people and I grow close to them, I find myself wanting their company and realizing peopling in a while ain't so bad. And because I've opened myself to new people, I in turn have become a better version of myself. Number 4. I love me a good vengeance story. I think it resonates with a lot of people. People who were once good-natured, then royally fucked by another, and it changes them for the absolute worst. And this is that protagonist's journey in a nutshell. Tales of has several fun protagonists, but the ones that tread the darker path are always the most interesting. Velvet Crow from Tales of Bersaria is a woman on a quest for vengeance, and on Artorias, her brother-in-law no less. She saw him sacrifice her sickly younger brother on the night of a scarlet moon, and she loses it. So we got a caring, kind woman to a fuck-all, tunnel vision badass bitch. Couldn't tell her nothing until she sought out Artorias and strangled him. As a result of this night, she becomes a Therian, a demon who consumes other demons. She was imprisoned for 3 years before being able to break free and hunt Artorias. But, you know, she isn't as one note as some may portray her. In her beginning, she was a loving older sister to her sickly younger brother, Laphicet. She loved her family, sister, brother, and Artorias. She was kind, compassionate, and did everything that was needed to help keep her family happy. And this Velvet is still alive when she runs into a young boy who resembles her late brother. And it's this character who repeatedly calls forth Velvet's tender side. And as the plot thickens, she cares to help her allies. In another part, she returns to her hometown, which is all well and good, despite it being destroyed during the Scarlet Moon. Her brother is alive, albeit in a coma. Again, Velvet's humanity rears its head, and the caring, kind woman still lives. But alas, it is an illusion. Her town was destroyed during the Scarlet Moon. Laphicet is still dead, and Artorias is still at large. She takes an emotional beating after emotional beating and still presses on, eventually finding that there is something outside of revenge that is worth fighting for. I love me a tortured character who is blinded by their own ambitions and causing pain to others that she herself experienced. An excellent tragic character whose journey was incredible, painful, and an absolute roller coaster of emotions. Also, shout out to her voice actor, Cristina Valenzuela, for bringing Velvet's raw energy to life.
He had a reason for... A reason? To spare the world of its pain. Don't give me that! Who will spare my brother's pain? Who will soothe my brother's
Number 3. Another series that has a variety of protagonists. Although to me, from the games I've played, there is one clear star. I mean, it's only natural that the best Final Fantasy has the best protagonist. I had to say something like that. Zidane, whatever. Zidane is an immediately likable character, prepping to steal away the princess in style. Give the crowd a show, generally outgoing, a laid-back kind of guy. He just oozes that charisma you'd expect from a thief. You'll be with this character for over 40 hours, so it's important to form a connection with him. I enjoy for most of the game he is the heart, uplifting, caring when it matters. He can put aside his goofball personality and sit with a friend. He's just a good damn person. And it makes it all the more heartbreaking when it's revealed that he is the angel of death and questions his entire existence. He was born to deliver death despite him growing to love the people he was meant to kill. And this just goes hand in hand with Final Fantasy IX's theme of life and what you do with it, with the limited time we have on this earth. And they couldn't have had a better protag for this game. Ugh, mwah. Zidane, I love you. Number 2. One of the best protagonists of our time. All he wanted to do was live a peaceful life, research, and help those around him. But alas, if that were to happen, we'd have never seen why this character was deserving of the lead role of Xenoblade Chronicles. Shulk is another instantly likable guy, appreciated by those around him, surrounded by friends, and is generally well liked by the town. And his crush. He's a total dweeb, usually stuck inside tinkering with scraps. He has a heart of gold, and it's because of that heart we are rewarded with this magnificent scene that demonstrates why he's the main character, and not his mentor figure, Dunban. Every day he fights against the Mechon, these machines who took someone precious to him. But when he finds out within the larger machines are homes, aka people, he's strong enough to realize that is murder. And he's not a murderer of man. He crosses swords with Dunban, the previous wielder of the Monado, who wants to kill the man in the giant Mechon, as the person piloting that Mechon, known as Metalface, stole his sister's life. Dunban was ready to murder, to seek vengeance, but Shulk sought the truth. Despite his hatred for the traitor's home, he still remained pure of heart. And I think that's a mark of an incredibly strong person, to put aside personal feelings in pursuit of the truth, and that is why Shulk is one of the best protagonists I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. Also, shout out to Shulk's voice actor, Adam Howden, for bringing this character to life. Without Howden's gut-wrenching screams, the scenes would have been nowhere near as powerful.
I'll kill you!
Honorable mentions. It's not fair that we got 3 smoking hot babes to choose from in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Obviously, we all know who the best route is, right? I played all 3 main routes, and while they each had their peaks and valleys, one leader stands above the rest, and had a very interesting journey. Yes, my king, my sweet Dimitri, my husband has fallen far from grace, but eventually overcomes it. And I gotta say, when he goes a little cuckoo, it only adds to his appeal. How could I not love this goofball? Sora is literally the key to, well, everything in this wild-ass series. Unlocking worlds, hearts, digital nonsense, but I couldn't think of another character I'd want to endure this goofy-ass adventure with. He's a bundle of joy, and I grew up with him, which makes me feel old, but it's just my childhood, man. I love Sora, and I always will. A game that I don't talk about much, but was so much fun to play, and has an underappreciated protagonist, goes to Ys Origin. And while I love me a sassy man like Hugo, Yunica Tova is the chicken noodle soup for the soul. Despite the darkling spitting in her face, she is always kind. She has her doubts and insecurities exposed, but still remains true to her homely self. And frankly, mistaking her kindness for weakness will be the last mistake the Darklings will ever make. Okay, number 1. Like most of my videos, number 1 and number 2 are kind of interchangeable. Honestly, even number 3 is kind of in there. But I did not expect to love this character so much. I didn't expect to love this game so much. You know what it is? I like characters with sass, who aren't pushovers, who aren't the let me help everybody type. I like the I got a job, let's get it done kind of character. Not only did I not expect to love Ryudo, but I also loved Grandia too, easily among my top RPGs. Ryudo is my guy. He's a geohound, aka a mercenary who takes jobs, makes his money, and moves on. He doesn't care for small talk, he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Right up my alley. And what makes him so fantastic, while obviously he undergoes change and softens up due to the friends he made along the way, he never loses that edge though. He's kinder to those he cares for, but when people start acting up, he quickly reminds the opposition that his edge has not dulled. Also, like every protagonist, they have a moment of weakness where they have to confront their fears and their traumas, and they come out on top and stronger for it. And I really enjoyed him facing his brother and becoming tainted with the horns of Valmar, but overcoming that with the help of his girlfriends that he had slowly come to love. And I really love that his girlfriends come through for him after being so distant in the beginning and realizing how close he had gotten to them. And that's a very powerful moment for not just his character, but his relationship with others and how close they've all become. Something great about Grandia is the protags have dialogue with NPCs. It's a back and forth, not just NPC says something at you. And that just adds so much flavor if you can't get enough of that Ryudo spice until the next story beat. Just talk to people. He's kind of an asshole and he's not ashamed of it. And that's why I'm so drawn to him. He keeps it real, keeps it 100% of the time. He doesn't care what people think of him, he does what needs to be done. In fact, if you want to hear me gush not only about Ryudo, but Grandia 2, check out my Grandia 2 review. And while you're here, you might as well check out my review of Grandia 1 as well. Justin is the fun-loving protagonist of Grandia 1 who doesn't get enough love either. Both games, while tonally different, are excellent in their own right. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. I love your faces, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!